CNN leaks controversial Trump audio. Bold claims on Putin, Xi, and global threats, ***. In a stunning new development that has sent shockwaves across political, diplomatic, and media circles, CNN has released a leaked audio recording allegedly featuring former U.S. President Donald Trump making highly controversial and aggressive statements regarding Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping. The leaked clip, which is rapidly circulating across social media and international platforms, includes Trump claiming he directly warned both leaders of devastating consequences should they attempt military actions against Ukraine or Taiwan. The recording reportedly captures Trump in a private setting, speaking to a group of supporters or political insiders. In the audio, Trump states, "I told Putin directly, if you invade Ukraine, we will bomb Moscow. He just laughed and said, I don't believe you. And I told President Xi, if you ever move on Taiwan, we will turn Beijing into ashes. He thought I was crazy." The blunt and unfiltered tone of these remarks has raised immediate concern over diplomatic sensitivities, potential breaches of classified discussions, and the possible impact on U.S. relations with two of the world's most powerful nations. ###, a pattern of provocative rhetoric. The former president is known for his unorthodox and often controversial communication style. But this audio leak may represent one of the most explicit revelations yet of how he claims to have dealt with foreign leaders during his time in office. If authentic, these statements reflect an aggressive deterrent strategy that leans heavily on threat and unpredictability. Trump's remarks about Putin suggest that the U.S. was prepared to strike the Russian capital directly in the event of a Ukrainian invasion. This contradicts the traditional U.S. policy of gradual sanctions and indirect military support. While Trump did authorize lethal aid to Ukraine during his presidency, the idea of bombing Moscow was never part of any publicly stated U.S. doctrine. The comments about China are equally explosive. Trump suggests he issued a similar threat to President Xi Jinping over Taiwan, warning that any military attempt to seize the self-governed island would result in Beijing being turned to ashes. Such a statement, if made during or after his presidency, would represent a severe diplomatic breach, potentially igniting tensions with Beijing at a time when U.S.-China relations are already strained. ###, international reaction. Neither the Kremlin nor Beijing has officially responded to the leak at the time of this report. However, Chinese state media has criticized the tone of the audio, calling it provocative warmongering. Russian media outlets have mostly ignored the story, while some pro-Kremlin voices dismissed it as American political theater. In Washington, the audio leak has triggered a wave of political debate. Trump allies have defended the remarks, suggesting they reflect a strong foreign policy stance that kept adversaries in check. Supporters argue that during Trump's presidency, neither Russia invaded Ukraine nor China moved on Taiwan, crediting his direct style as a deterrent. On the other hand, critics have called the audio reckless and dangerous, warning that such statements, if authentic, could seriously undermine diplomatic credibility, provoke adversaries, and harm U.S. security interests. Some lawmakers have urged the Department of Justice and intelligence agencies to investigate the origin of the leak and verify whether it involved classified information. ###, authenticity and legal implications. CNN has not disclosed how it obtained the audio, but has stated that its authenticity is being reviewed by independent audio forensic experts. Legal analysts suggest that if the recording was made without proper consent and involved classified details, it could trigger legal consequences under federal laws related to national security and unauthorized disclosures. Former intelligence officials are also weighing in. One former CIA analyst stated, "If a sitting or former president speaks of bombing capital cities in this manner, even casually, it has global implications. Allies and adversaries alike listen to these signals. If proven authentic, the audio could impact ongoing debates within the Republican Party regarding Trump's candidacy for the 2024 presidential election. His opponents may use the leak to portray him as unstable or irresponsible, while his base may interpret it as further evidence of his no-nonsense approach to global threats. Broader context. U.S. Foreign policy. The audio leak arrives at a time of significant global tension. Russia continues its military operations in Ukraine despite widespread sanctions and Western military aid to Kyiv. Meanwhile, China has been intensifying military drills near Taiwan, raising fears of a future confrontation. The U.S. government under President Joe Biden has maintained a policy of strategic deterrence and multilateral diplomacy. The Biden administration has increased military support to Taiwan and reaffirmed the U.S. commitment to defending it under the Taiwan Relations Act, but without openly threatening China with direct military strikes. The stark contrast in tone between the leaked Trump remarks and current U.S. foreign policy highlights the deep divide in America's approach to international conflict under different administrations. Media and public response. The leaked audio has gone viral online, with hashtags like #TrumpLeak, #BombMoscow, and #Beijing threat trending on multiple platforms. Public opinion is divided, with many expressing concern over the tone and content of the statements, while others see it as bold leadership. Mainstream media outlets are analyzing the leak from all angles: political, legal, strategic, and ethical. Talk shows, podcasts, and news panels are dedicating extensive coverage to what this could mean for the future of U.S. foreign policy and Trump's political legacy. Conclusion. As investigations into the audio's authenticity continue, the political and diplomatic fallout is already evident. Whether this leak proves to be a turning point or simply another moment of controversy in Donald Trump's high-profile career, one thing is clear. The world is listening, and the stakes are higher than ever. This is a developing story, and more updates will follow as new information becomes available.